All right, welcome to the Ravit Show. We are here at Google Next. It's day 2, and I'm super excited to be with Shishir S, who's the Senior Director of AI at Pythian. First of all, it's your debut. I'm super excited to host you,
Thank you very
Shishir. I
much.
know off air we were chatting a little bit about AI and the implementation and all of those things. I'm kind of excited to chat more and get more in depth about that. But just before that, would you like to quickly introduce yourself? Tell us more about what you do at Pythian and also a little bit about what you've been hearing at the conference here. There are like 30,000 people,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Shishir S. I'm the Senior Director of AI Services here
Right.
at Pythian. I've been in the Google ecosystem for about a decade now. I started
Nice.
off being in scientific computing and supercomputing. Worked deeply in that system, and then, of course, given my academic background, I have a unique expertise in AI.
Right.
So my role at Pythian is going to be building our AI professional services portfolio.
Right.
We, of course, have deep expertise in databases and data management.
Yep.
And my hope is to build on that expertise and help us build AI services on top.
Okay, fantastic. And thanks for sharing that info. I'm kind of also curious since you've been, obviously working on AI specific services. You talk to a lot of customers,
Indeed.
and I'm pretty sure you kind of also, hear about the top challenges that they kind of face. You've been, obviously wanting to enable AI for them in the best way possible. Can you
Yeah.
share a little bit about those challenges as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me kind of speak a little bit about what has been really interesting
Yeah, for
here
sure.
at Google Next this time around. Um, Google, of course, has been investing in their AI differentiator for a very long time.
Yep.
Of course, with Google Research and Google DeepMind and the amazing things they've done. The things that I think are going to be really important for folks to focus on are, of course, agents is top of mind for everybody, and
100%.
agentic workflows are top of mind for everybody.
Yep.
And I really like how Google are positioned because they're not only looking at it as scaffolding your workflow in your industry and then building those agentic workflows. Google's point of view is let's embed those into our cloud, into our platform, and make those available to you.
Very important, right?
Right, and that's so important. And speaking a little bit about where industries are, of course, there are some industries that have been really good
Yep.
at adopting AI.
Yep.
And some of those are unlikely ones. They've traditionally been technology averse and progress averse as well.
Yep.
And they've been heads first at implementing AI. So that's been a little bit of an anti-pattern in the industry, if you will.
Yeah.
And some other industries, such as manufacturing and supply chain, as an example that comes off of my head at the top,
Yeah.
have been a little bit slower to adopt generative AI, which is also super interesting to me.
Yeah. Okay. These are fantastic insights that you kind of shared in, also the challenges according to, the different industries that they fall in. Also, since we are on this topic, I'm kind of curious to also know a little bit about, the return on investment. I'm pretty sure the customers,
Absolutely.
we've been in that space where implementation was one thing, but then when the implementation and the enablement has been done, now we
Correct.
start talking about the return on investment
Absolutely,
as well, right?
yeah. So if you look at the trends of how generative AI has evolved across multiple industries and use cases,
Yeah.
2023 and 2024 were the era of POCs. Right?
Exactly.
And the challenge, I think, is not a lot of people understood how to organically and methodically transform those POCs into production.
True.
There's a huge challenge, and that's kind of where Pythian solves that problem for our customers.
Exactly.
Because the analogy I like to draw for people when it comes to this particular problem is it's a bit like playing in the open field versus playing in a playground.
Yeah.
And what we offer at Pythian is a ready-made playground for people to experiment in, develop on those POCs, flush them out and take them to production. But to answer your question at a slightly more strategic and industry level as well,
Right.
return on investment is incredibly important. And one of the things I do in all the advisory that I do to the executives with the customers that I talk with all the time is let's build a robust success criteria and success metrics from the get-go so we're able to help you maneuver them and reach them. I think there is a lot of ROI to be had from the investments that enterprises have made in GenAI.
Yeah, and then these are definitely good points that you've kind of mentioned, but one more kind of important thing that kind of, comes up when we kind of talk about customers is the time to value too. Right?
Absolutely.
Because most of the times when you kind of, you've kind of figured out the implementation bit, the investment, the return on investment kind of comes in, but then the time as well.
Absolutely.
How
Yeah.
do you kind of see that when you're kind of working with the customers out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a very opinionated point of
Yeah,
view
for
around
sure.
this. And the analogy, again, I draw to answer this question is it's a bit like buying a washing machine, right?
Okay.
You go to the store, you look at a washing machine, and you're
Right.
like, this is such a brilliant washing machine, I'm going to buy it. Not a lot of people think about all the setup they have to do when they bring it home.
Right.
Perhaps you don't have the right inlet. Perhaps you don't
Yep.
have the pipes. That's kind of how I think about this, right? You you look at all of these incredible technologies, but one of the things I've been really suggesting enterprises in particular to think about is all the scaffolding. So at Pythian, we have a framework for enabling this to customers.
Nice.
We think about those in like three major kind of categories. There's the platform, there's the frameworks, and then you have the AI layer without having some sort of maturity in the first two.
Love it.
Our point of view is you won't be able to drive a lot in that third layer.
Okay, that's pretty good. When you kind of talk about categories, I also kind of start, feeling more about, the different types of AI. Can you educate our audience a little bit about the different types of AI as well that you all have
Absolutely.
been working on, and how is it helping the larger enterprises out there?
Absolutely, happy to. So at Pythian, we have a point of view that likes to kind of have a different categorization around AI. Of course, the industry and the model makers and the foundation model builders, such as Google, have a point of view of generative AI and other types of AI that kind of fall under the umbrella of deep learning. But for us, it's very much about adoption, right?
Right.
So we have a categorization that is kind of based around embed AI, which means
Right.
take a scaffold surveys, embed that into your existing stack or workflow.
Right.
I think that's super important. The other one is the maturity of AI. We are huge believers of the fact that you've got to be at the right maturity scale
100%.
to adopt and get that ROI we were talking about earlier.
True,
Right?
true.
And the third and the most important is build AI. What I'm seeing in this conference a lot is it's becoming easier because there's so many managed and other types of products.
True.
There's a little bit of choice fatigue, in my opinion, in the industry.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we have to help customers kind of breeze through that. That's kind of one of the things that me and my team do.
Very important.
We help folks choose the right model. How do you build on top of that model? And that build AI becomes incredibly important.
I love it. I love how you've kind of, obviously mentioned about, the different products, but then choosing the right product and what fits into, your services is something which is pretty important.
Absolutely.
Do you also do anything on the lines where you all have AI workshops or courses or anything, something of that sort that, the enterprise leaders can take on and understand much more in depth about,
Yeah.
how AI kind of, fits into their environment?
Absolutely. Yeah, so again, our point of view is AI is not just a tool.
Right.
It is a little bit of a disrupting force, an emerging disrupting force in the industry.
Yeah.
We are huge believers in enablement. So our kind of life cycle that we offer to our customers is all about enabling them first, showing them kind of what your roadmap should be, what your data strategy should be,
Very
what
important.
your AI strategy should be.
Right.
Then take them on a implementation roadmap, and
So
then
true.
kind of take them post-implementation into some sort of a support kind of service as well, right? And we kind of think of that as a robust life cycle for our customers. So we have a field CTO office that is very good at coming in, understanding your business problem and translating those into highest value, highest priority AI adoption. And then me and my team kind of come in and then help customers navigate the complex maze that is AI adoption. And then we have a whole slew of support services we can offer to our customers post that implementation that kind of sets them up for success. So it's very much like drawing somewhat rough guardrails, but it helps lend direction to customers.
Love it. This is exactly, I'm pretty sure, what the enterprise leaders that we talk to as well, always look out for something on the lines where they can at least get an understanding of the AI strategy, the AI
Absolutely.
implementation, how
Yes.
it has to be done, what's the right model that they have to go after,
Absolutely.
and which industries have been already doing something like, or which
Correct.
companies have been already doing something like this. So some use cases as well that they can
Correct.
look at and feel more confident about getting into the game. One last question, Shishir, that I have for you. I loved all the insights that you've shared, but I'm pretty sure my audience would also love to connect with you, or
Yes.
follow your stuff. I know Pythian also kind of put out a lot of content out there to educate
Correct.
the larger community out there. But if they want to reach out to you, where can they follow you? LinkedIn, X, which is the best place?
Yeah, so at my heart, I'm an engineer, so
Right.
of course you can reach out to me in all of the typical professional social media like LinkedIn. I'm very, very active in the Google Developer Experts community.
Okay,
I mentor
fantastic.
about 100, 150 engineers there.
Wow.
So you can reach out to me through there as well. And of course, I'm on all the other platforms that engineers are usually on, such as GitHub and a whole slew of others. So if you Google my name, it's not difficult to find me. So
Okay,
please come
fantastic.
find me. I'd love to chat.
Love it. Shishir, once again, thanks for chatting. Thanks for sharing all the great insights. We'll keep the conversation going. All the best for
Absolutely.
the next 3 days at the conference, maybe the next 2 days.
Indeed.
And we'll chat again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.